All right, so speaking of championships, we're already starting to prepare. We want to get you ready. We want to start thinking championship mentality. All right, so we'll do our I'm convinced segment here. Who are you convinced will be league winners? Players you believe will carry teams to a championship. And usually this is based on, kind of how you got the players. Because if you picked them up off waivers, you picked them up late in the draft, it should mean that the rest of your team is solid. And then you added this guy with great value that puts you over the top. That's the difference in fantasy championships. And so a couple guys, that fit that mold. Keaton Mitchell, Ravens running back. Every time he touches the ball, he's electric. So if they continue to give him carries and give him opportunities, he had a decent, modest week, but they're going into a bye. Do they figure out more ways to get him involved, to light up, to keep that offense heading in the right direction, especially with Mark Andrews out? They got to adjust kind of who they get involved. Zay Flowers had a wonderful game, but I think Keaton Mitchell and Zay Flowers can both be league winners. As far as quarterbacks go, I think Brock Purdy will be a league winner. Talk about consistency. When you got the weapons around him, now, unless McCaffrey runs in too many touchdowns that take away from Brock, that's one thing. But man, if he's throwing, 3 touchdowns a game, you got Kittle, you got Debo, you got Ayuk each getting one. That means Purdy's getting 3 touchdowns. Throw one to McCaffrey too. And then Kyron Williams, we talked about him earlier. He's going to be a league winner, no question about it. And I'll let you throw in a couple names.
Yeah. I think the biggest one that you're going to see is Mike Evans. Mike Evans has been unbelievable this season. He is someone that I completely wrote off. I thought he was done. Age, Baker Mayfield, Bucks being bad, he was not worth having. He has been a top 10 receiver this year, and he's been putting up monster weeks, like 25, 30-point weeks consistently throughout the season. And you probably got him as a wide receiver 3 or 4 on your team, and he's been a wide receiver 1. So I think that's going to be a guy that's really good down the stretch as well. The Bucks have one of the easiest strength of schedules down the stretch, so I think he's going to continue this fantastic play into the playoffs. Then another wide receiver who's really come on, my guy Rashee Rice, career game this last week, 24 fantasy points, 100 yards, touchdown, 8 catches. I think the Chiefs are going to go back to their bread and butter towards the end of the season. We saw a huge game from Pacheco, huge game from Rice, not a huge game from Kelsey, but Kelsey was involved. I think that's what it's going to be. Enough of Marquez Valdez-Scantling, enough of Justin Watson, Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney. Patrick Mahomes knows who his 3 guys are. That's Pacheco, Kelsey, and Rashee Rice, and that is who he's going to go to down the stretch as the Chiefs make their push towards the Super Bowl.
Yeah, if Rashee Rice is a flex for you, you're sitting pretty. That's a good spot for him. If he's your wide receiver 2, I mean, his consistency hasn't always been there. So, as a rookie, there's a little concern there. And it's hard to trust rookies sometimes to win a fantasy championship. But when they're your kind of flex guy, that's where you really shine, where you got that steal late in the draft, the potential, the sleeper type of guy. That's really where the opportunity is. That's why Keaton Mitchell, Kyron Williams, those kind of guys. But yeah, Rashee Rice, absolutely. And then when you go to top players, I think Atlanta might be figuring it out. Hey guys, we got this guy named Bijan Robinson, whatever you want to call him, but hey, get the ball in his hands. He's really, really good. Seems like they figured it out. So maybe Arthur Smith will stop being stubborn, but he had 27 fantasy points this week. You drafted him in the first round. You've held on to him all year. You've seen glimpses. You've had some big weeks, but he's let you down sometimes. But it's not him. It's Arthur Smith or whoever's calling the plays that's letting him down, or Desmond Ridder, or Heineke, or whoever. But if this team realizes, hey, we can actually go win the division, and our best chance to win the NFC South, the sorry NFC South, is to give the ball to Robinson, then you're going to love life as a fantasy manager. So enjoy that. And then lastly, I can't go a whole show without mentioning my guy, Nico Collins, baby. Another monster game for him, 23 points. So him and Tank Dell and CJ Stroud, they're all league winners. If you got any of those guys, Houston, they're going to continue to play well, continue to finish strong. It doesn't matter if they win or lose. This isn't the win or loss season for them. This is we're taking a step toward relevancy, toward competitiveness, toward winning every once in a while. We'll maybe finish around 500. But from a fantasy standpoint, it's winning, baby. Winning with Nico. So Any final name to lay your claim today?
Yeah, I think one final name that people have been worried about, who's because he's been inconsistent throughout the year, is Devonta Smith. I think he's going to have a fantastic finish of the season. We saw it this last week
Big
with
day.
Jalen Hurts. I know sometimes AJ Brown has stolen the show, but don't forget about Devonta Smith. He's still a very valuable fantasy player.
Yes, yes, and don't give up on AJ Brown either. He'll win. So if you got him in like the second or third round, he could be huge for you as well. So yeah, you want Eagles guys. They're playing great. They got some big matchups coming up as well.